welcome you once again to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Today we're talking about Decision 2016 yet again. And to say the least, I'm a bit disappointed, a bit disgusted, and a bit disenchanted with some of the events that have gone on in the past 24 hours. It would seem that we got official notification yesterday that Jill Stein and Gary Johnson will not, and I reiterate, not be a part of the first presidential debate. In our democracy, in our country, in our time when the need for a good president to be chosen, the one person that could possibly bring that to light is not going to be on the debate stage. What a tragedy within a tragedy. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and let's visit this thing and see if we can make some sense of it, although making a sense of it would be an attempt in futility. As I said, we live here in America. We're supposed to be such a democracy. We're supposed to be a country that operates in transparency. We're supposed to be a country of choices. But here of late, we are having things foisted upon us that we necessarily may or may not want. Hillary Clinton, the bitchery Clinton, called Trump's worshipers deplorables. If he were to come up with a name for her supporters, then that too would be looked upon as a horrid thing. But here's the thing that gets me. The world is looking at us and laughing to the point of hysteria. Not that they can hold their heads up high either with their stupid and sadistic, idiotic governments. But since America has always been held in such high esteem, we are looked at as this model by which to follow in some like manner. For us to have two criminal, scandalous, lightning rods, if you will, that seem to draw trouble every passing day that they're on telly or in the internet or in the newspapers. That's what we have to choose for president is laughable. It is. It's laughable. I don't care how many worshipers are out there for Trump. I don't care how many supporters are out there for Clinton. Just the mere fact of having these two ingrates, these two laughable dipsticks, if you will, up before us to vote on as president, the most key position in the entire world, if you will, is ludicrous. Look at this pitiful Trump fella, the orange-haired chook. Got on stage and tripped all over himself, making himself the biggest ass ever. After all of that rigmarole that he went back and forth with over 2 or 3 years about the birth of Bastard, then he comes on and says emphatically that he was born in the United States, period. And that it was Hillary Clinton that started the snowball of this birther business. A complete and total utter lie. And only one news agency had the audacity to call him on it. This is what you're bucking for president. A liar. A blatant liar. Wasn't he the one that pushed Hillary Clinton's health? This doctor that he claimed is his doctor and produced this sham of a health report for him looks like something you'd find on a creature feature. Ridiculous. He gives some kind of half-handed health report about himself. Both of these people are as old as dirt. He's 70 years old, she's 68, both of them older than black pepper. But yet, they're keeping up this rigorous activity, this rigorous routine, flying from place to place in airplanes that, you know, they're breathing the same bacteria, what have you. The woman starts coughing. She's speaking, I don't know how many speeches per day. Maybe her throat's dry. Then they come up with pneumonia, some kind of viral or bacterial pneumonia, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, woo-wee. I tell you true. In fact, I'm getting a little hoarse here talking. This has been about the stupidest, silliest, most idiotic campaign I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've been on this little green and blue planet for 58 years now. But this is utter madness. They're not talking about the issues. They're coming from left field with all kinds of gunk. They're showing themselves to be total idiots. And why they have as many worshipers on the orange-haired chook side and how many followers on the blonde-haired crook side, I will never know. And this Bureau of Presidential Debates, if I'm calling it correctly, has total power. And just to think, this is not a governmental agency. It's some little fly-by-night ad hoc committee that is made up of both Republicans and Democrats that govern this debate situation. Now, here we're looking at two things. One, they've got this administrative mandate that states that independents have to have at least 15% of the popularity vote on the ballots to get on the debate stage. That is ludicrous. That is a sham. It is a bunch of garbage. And here's why I say this. You look at the two front runners, one from the Republican side, one from the Democrat side. Money, 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 money's mama. On the Democrat side, you even got this old bastard going around sucking up money, $35,000 to $45,000 a plate, then so he can go back and give it to the Democratic Party and slid the bitchery Clinton. On the Republican side, you got money, 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 people going around doing the same thing, and then this orange-haired chook, he's got some money of his own, but yet he's getting money in from celebrities and like this Looney Clooney. And all these other celebrity muckety mucks, just throwing billions and billions of dollars at these two groups, Republicans and Democrats. Look at the Libertarian Party, look at the Green Party. Who's throwing money at them? Okay, I can understand Joe Stein not wanting this big money coming from them. So, I don't know about this libertarian guy because I don't care for him. He's a goofball, so I don't even look at that. But I'm saying you got these two major parties over here with bukus of money, and then you got these other two over here scratching to survive. They're not getting presidential primary debates. They're not getting, say, on television with commercials. Not like these other two. They're not even getting on the radar that much. So how in the name of common judgment could you expect these people to get 15% of the popular vote on any polls like that? They just now, in this late stage, have gotten on the radar, and you deprive them. Okay, I'll tell you why they're depriving Jill Stein. Because she is kind of like Bernie Sanders in her philosophy, that she is more on the socialist side of things. Oh, and there are the naysayers for that. Oh, socialism. Oh, you want to end up like Venezuela? This is what it's going to look like. How do you know? We're Americans. Venezuela's a third world country anyway, run by a bunch of idiots. Not to say that we're not run by a bunch of idiots too, but we are technologically advanced. We're very educated in our thinking and our ways of doing things. We have broken, I don't know how many barriers and territories. It would take probably a 5 or 6 hour show for me to talk about the achievements of America and her people. Her regular people. Now, I'm not talking about these governmental idiots. I'm talking about regular salt of the earth people that are out there doing it every day and making it happen. So yeah, if Americans tried socialism, I bet it would work. But no, the naysayers have everything horrible to say about socialism. Why? Because they're too damn greedy. And they have been so. Capitalism doesn't always work. That's why we have major cities going bankrupt. That's why we're in a $20 trillion debt. That's why we're fighting stupid wars and getting our soldiers killed. That's why we're not taking care of our veterans. That's why we have a lot of people of our generationally born sons and daughters out on the streets. That's why we're losing businesses. That's why this orange-haired chook doesn't have the right to talk about Ford or Nabisco moving operations to Mexico, because this bastard doesn't even produce what he produces in this country. Greed infused with a healthy amount of stupidity. So no, that's why they don't want Jill Stein, because she offers something new and different. The good old boys want to keep on to their capitalism so they can line their bloody pockets. And it's not just Wall Street. It's practically every damn street. Everywhere where you have a greed monger filling and stuffing his pockets with your money. Why we're even considering these two asinine bastards for the office of president is beyond me. And yet this little hog bag entity decides whether or not who we can vote for in this benevolent land of democracy. Bloody hell. And we sit there and we take it. The people that televise the debates, the news whores, I think it's going to be done by NBC4. I'm pretty sure of that because it's going to be done by Lester Holt. They should have to say who is on their programming. Not this little ad hoc committee that sits over there crunching the numbers and telling us, the American people, who the hell we can have on a debate stage and who we should be able to vote for. It's too crooked, it's too corrupt, and it's not for us, the people. It's for them, the money grabbers. That's all this is about. You got a rich, crooked bitch, and you got a rich, crooked bastard in Donald Trump, and they're the ones we're supposed to vote for to help us, and you actually believe them? God! What's bloody wrong with you? All over the world there's hell, and it's come to roost in our backyard at the hands of one bitchery bitch Clinton. She wants to carry on O'Bastard's regime. Well, O'Bastard's regime is setting up America for Muslims and Islamic people, whether they be extremist or no. And this Donald-ass Trump, he wants to set it up for the white folks again. He doesn't want to make America great again. He wants to make America white again, because that's mainly who he appeals to. He sucks up when it's convenient, when it's expedient for him to do so. To black folks, to Hispanic folks, to any folk that he figures will get him over the top. And then when he gets over the top, he's going to go, nah, nah. He's not helping anybody but himself. Why won't he release his tax records? Because he's a charlatan. And he knows that those tax records would prove the point most expeditiously. He's nothing. Just like the bitchery Clinton. Nothing. These two idiots should never have been up there for us to vote on. Yeah, this Gary Johnson fella is a loon, but I haven't heard that much. I haven't heard any scandal about it. Jill Stein, I haven't heard any scandal about her. The two most clean people on the debate stage won't be there because of greed and stupidity and selfishness and the unwillingness to try something new that may help the American people. This is crazy. It's lunacy. And I don't know what to say. It's just so disappointing that this silly, childish, laughable excuse for a campaign, a decision 2016 has gotten this far. Zach, what do you got?
A lot of disdain for the way things are run too. You know, this tiny little organization, which sounds like it was made up overnight, or over somebody being drunk or somebody being high. How about we just call it the Commission of Presidential Debates? Doesn't sound like anything official. And like I said, I have disdain for them because they might as well be big government, big brother, because all they're doing, as you'll see in a statement that I'll be reading soon from Gary Johnson, is controlling and what's going on in America, putting Big Brother's watchful eye over you, making sure they want you to see what they want you to see. So as Gary Johnson says in a statement, I would say I am surprised that the CPD has chosen to exclude me from the first debate, but I'm not. And here's the meat and potatoes like we've been talking about for the whole show. After all, the commission is a private organization. I repeat, private organization. Created 30 years ago by the Republican and Democratic parties for the clear purpose of taking control of the only nationally televised presidential debates voters will see. It is unfortunate that the CPD doesn't believe such a voice should be heard. He should be speaking about both voices, not just his. So when he says we in this next statement, I'm not sure if he just means his campaign or Jill Stein included. There are more polls and more debates, and we plan to be on the debate stage in October. Johnson added, the second presidential debate takes place on October the 9th. However, the CPD will reevaluate who will be included ahead of each debate. It's just not right, as I've been saying to you before we did the show yesterday and the day before that. 15% be damned. It doesn't matter how much popularity they have, because they are an alternative and they are officially the recognized runner-ups, or whatever you wish to call them, for the third party again. They should be recognized. There's more people out there to vote for. They're the only other nationally recognized, two third-party members, and why are they not even in the debates? It doesn't make any sense. And further, in the news of Donald Trump not being fit, as well as Hillary not being fit for president, there was something about Donald Trump saying that Hillary Clinton's Secret Service agents should be stripped of their firearms because of her position on trying to get rid of the guns for Americans, gun control. It was a very crass and immature statement as usual. Let's see what happens to her. That obviously is inciting some kind of violence, which the Democratic Party has made a statement on, which I'll get to further, and I have agreed with. Trump has long incorrectly suggested the Democratic opponent wants to overturn the Second Amendment and take Americans' right to own guns. That's why he said that, I guess. At a rally in Miami, he again riffed about confiscating the agents' guns and then went further. Quote, I think that her bodyguards should drop all weapons. They should disarm, right? Trump asked the crowd. Take their guns away. She doesn't want guns. And let's see what happens to her. Take their guns away. Okay, it would be very dangerous. Whether or not it was a joke, as this thing says right here, Trump's meaning was not immediately clear, and the campaign spokeswoman did not immediately respond to a request for elaboration. It could have been, here's the part about a joke. Trump has a pattern of inciting people to violence, whether this was done to provoke protests as a rally or casually, even as a joke. It is an unacceptable quality in anyone seeking the job for a commander-in-chief. This kind of talk should be out of bounds for a presidential candidate. Robbie Mook from, doesn't seem to show where he's from, wrote, seemingly ominous comment evoked a remark Trump made last month that many Democrats condemned as a call for Clinton's assassination. You can see that when you say stuff like that, you don't know what it can be misconstrued as, and that's why you shouldn't open your big mouth like that without knowing what you're saying.
Like I said, he's got a garbage can for a mouth.
Mm-hmm. He continued, by the way, if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. Within minutes, the Clinton campaign condemned the remark. Mook said then, maybe he's a representative of her campaign, a person seeking to be the president of the United States should not suggest violence in any way. And of course, Trump tried to squish this by saying, and it doesn't make any sense to me because the last statement, you know, doesn't cover something that is broadband, you know. Trump later disputed that criticism, saying that everyone in his audience knew, like they're just clairvoyant. He was referring to the power of the voters, and there can be no other interpretation. That part doesn't make any sense. How can there not be any other interpretation when you didn't clarify that by when you said it? You should have said they should take away their guns because that's the power of the voters could do something like that. You know, you don't be specific and not clear at the same time. Of course, the NRA didn't talk to him, he says, but you know, stuff like this is something we don't exactly need, and we don't need a 30-year-old commission that's not even officially, you know, recognized by the RNC, and I guess it is recognized by the RNC and DNC, but they shouldn't have that much control over something if people are in the votes enough, and especially, I need to look this up on the fly because I forgot to do that, especially if Jill Stein has already gotten past the 100,000 votes in her system to, you know, be on the debate stage, that there should be no contest. That's supposed to be recognized. You get 100,000 signatures, that's supposed to mean something. And obviously it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Not if you got this little ad hoc committee that is the ruler of everything.
So, exactly. You know, it shouldn't be 30 years ago. Okay, so they have gotten past it. Just, oh, this is rich. Now they're requiring 200,000 signatures as if they didn't do enough the first time. I don't know exactly if there's any information about it being bumped up at all. Let me see. No, there's no information about it, but now it's jumped from 100,000 signatures to 200,000 signatures, which is ridiculous.
Well, see, well, let me let you finish. Then I'll go.
But we're still, regardless of that, halfway there. The little kind of baby puke green, sorry, that's what the color it looks like to me. Across the dark green thing is about a little bit more than halfway, so we have 110,053 signatures out of 200,000. So, you know, this is insane. If she's supposed to get 100,000, then that should be it. You don't up it just to make sure because, oh, she reached the threshold, so let's bump it up so that she'll have to do it again, just like you told me before, you know, that they changed the thing from like 5% to 50% or whatever it was before. Well, they actually did it this time, so let's make sure they're still not recognized and make them work harder to do it again. That's not right. It should be 100,000 signatures, period. I should not have looked it up today and saw that it was doubled. That's not right. If you get the 100,000 signatures, period, and that's what it usually is at whitehouspetition.gov or whatever it is for petitioning stuff in the White House. A lot of things have, I believe, surpassed him getting impeached, and they didn't do anything about it, even though they reached 100,000. That should just not be. When you reach the threshold, then you're recognized, period. End of story. And like I said before, if you're the only two out there besides the Republican and Democratic, then you need to be recognized just in fairity, you know, if that's a word, or all in fairness. But, you know, that's crazy.
Well, like I said, where you've got these private entities making the rules, they can change them as they see fit, because there's nobody there to check their hand, and they can change stuff. And if an independent gets close, they'll change it. You know, anything they can do to keep this in the good old boys' hands, where they can hold on to their capitalism, they can hold on to their little pots where they're sticking money in and grabbing money out and doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and, you know, like keeping money away from veterans, keeping money away from Social Security recipients, disabled people that need that extra funding, and pretending and lying and propagandering that the economy is getting so much better, and it's not, that food prices are coming down, and millions of us have empty refrigerators where there's nothing in there but some cold air and a lonely light bulb. Stop lying to people, and stop all of this crap that you're doing to American citizens and dragging us down. Let us have as many presidential candidates as there are officially. If the Libertarian Party has chosen this Gary Johnson fella, he should be on the debate stage. If the Green Party has chosen Jill Stein, she should be on the debate stage. If the Republicans has chosen this orange-haired chook, he should be there just as well as that bitchery Clinton. She should be there because that's who the people have chosen. But no, we're too crooked, we're too greedy, and we're too corrupt. So I'll end this show by saying, we know now who is going to be in the White House. One of the two of these creeps, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. And maybe that's just as it should be. Maybe one of them should get the seat and screw up America even further than it is. Why? As a shrine to all the bullshit in the world. We thank you for joining the Phil Taylor Jones Show, and we hope that you can join us again very, very soon. Bye-bye.